Hey, and welcome to my channel, The Unrequited Pipe, and today I will be going over some quick life updates, talk about my situation currently, why I haven't been online, and why I haven't really uploaded any new videos. But just a quick housekeeping for today. I have my Carl Erik Otendal freehand, Danish freehand pipe with me, and I'm smoking some Tobacco Barn Aliso Creek and Old Tavern. So some two local bulk English blends for today. So that's a quick pipe check for you. Really cool shape. It's got like a floor pipe shape, I would call it. So stay tuned, and we will have a little pipe talk. Nice thing about this bowl is it's got a very wide plateaued rim top. That makes it really easy for loading and catching any loose tobacco spillage. This guy's pretty loaded up. Probably won't smoke through all of this, so I might take some out. Okay. Really enjoy this bowl here. This Carl Erik. I actually forgot my tamper in my car. But I don't think I'm gonna go get it. I think I'll be okay. I'll just use my keys. Oh, you know what? I'm actually wrong. I actually bought this pen. This is a Pt.1 Zebra stainless steel body felt tip pen. And I use this end. It's got a flat, well, the whole thing is steel, but it's got a very nice flat kind of base. And I actually carry this with me to work because I use a lot of pens and markers. But this is actually my emergency tamper. So I will be okay for this morning. Got a nice ember going. I believe this is a mixed blend of Tobacco Barn's Aliso Creek and Old Tavern. There may be a hint of SPC's plum pudding in here. Very nice, very smooth. It's not as strong as like a cup of coffee, but almost like the strength of a natural hot tea. The last time you guys saw me, I was cooking a barbecue for dinner in the backyard. Hey guys, tonight I should say, I'm in my backyard and I wanted to do an update video because I haven't been on in a while, but I was not able to. There was a lot of things going on in the neighborhood, people clipping their yards and weeding and all those things. So unfortunately it's nighttime already, and right now I'm gonna go and start up the barbecue for some dinner. Later tonight I have some work. So here's my little pig grill. Let me see if I can get a good shot of it. I'll turn on the light. Yeah, there. My family's going crazy in there. I don't know what they're watching, like really old school, like ballads. Let's take a look real quick to see what my family's watching. They're watching like 70s music videos. It's crazy. I know I haven't been on YouTube for the last couple weeks, and that is because about 6 days ago, it actually started earlier than that, but basically 6 days ago I started to get sick. It started with kind of a knot on the right side of my back by my scapula, or the shoulder blade, kind of in between the spine and the shoulder blade. And being a driver, I thought I was just hunched over all the time in my car seat. And I just thought maybe I've been sitting in my chair wrong. And so I had this kind of like a deep tissue, almost like a knot, or like not really painful, but like an annoying type of sensation where you feel like something needs to crack. Sometimes you kind of have to stretch and crack your back, and there's just that sensation of like, when you need to crack something, like your knuckles. I had that feeling, but in my back. And I adjusted the way I was sitting in my car for work. I added a lumbar pillow in there. Nothing was helping. I thought maybe I pulled something. So I was resting my back. I was resting my shoulder. I started to sleep on my floor at night to kind of help decompress the spine and, maybe alleviate some of the stuff I was feeling. Well, about 2 or 3 days later, I also started to get like an itching on my chest. And I know on Sundays I work a lot. Sundays is a full day of work for me. That's when I was really busy. I remember this whole thing started around Saturday, and the next day was a Sunday, and I was working a lot and I was sweating. So I thought, okay, maybe the itch and kind of the irritation was from just me sweating in my shirt. Well, that itchiness turned into a redness and a swelling on my chest. And it was right at the pectoralis muscle, the chest muscle, right around here. And on my arms, kind of my deltoid, my shoulder area. I let it go. I started reading online, and decided to, just keep the area dry and cool and not add to the irritation, basically. Well, another day later, those areas, my chest, my shoulders, my arms, started to develop bumps, almost like lots of little tiny goosebumps. And it was itchy, and it was really annoying, and it developed to the point where it was red also, and it developed to the point where it was a rash, and the rash was prickly, and it was hot, and it was warm. I even developed, it wasn't a fever, but I definitely felt warm, and I thought I was just sick. And from there, I also had general malaise, which is just a general overall feeling of tiredness, a feeling of weakness in your muscles. And so then I knew something was going on. I had a rash, it was red, there was bumps, I was feeling sick. Decided to do some more reading, because I almost never get rashes of any kind, and I don't think I've ever gotten a rash really in my past. So I looked online and I found some different things that it could be, and what I thought it was at first was a heat rash. And there's 3 different kinds. There's like a mild type of heat rash, where it tends to only affect the very top layer of your skin, and you don't really get, it's kind of itchy, but there's no swelling really, and there's not much pain. I thought what I had was the second kind, miliaria rubra, and that was also a heat rash. It's called prickly heat. I was looking at all these heat rash symptoms and diagnoses information articles online, and also videos on YouTube, and trying to figure out if what I was feeling was what others were talking about in their symptoms. Now this is all happening this is about, at this point I'm about 3 days in to experiencing all these symptoms. And after going through all the videos, I realized this is not a heat rash. There was way too much pain. The pain was hot. It was searing, almost like I had actually burned my skin. You know when you burn your hand on something, or you burn your skin with actual, where the flame comes in contact with your skin? That's how hot it felt. And if you've ever had a skin burn, it's painful. There's a lot of nerve endings in your skin, and you can't do much about it except to just let it heal and take medications for the pain. So I started to realize this cannot be a heat rash, and I started to dig deeper. And I took pictures of everything. I'll put some pictures up as I'm talking about this, but it turned out to be shingles. And the way I found out that it was shingles was I had looking around online and found this picture, and I'll put it up right here, of the pattern rash that the shingles virus creates. And it's basically defined by a red rash with blisters that develops usually on the chest, on the back, limbs, arms, underarms, in the general torso area. But the defining characteristic is that it only affects half of the body, so either the left side or the right side. And it will wrap around from the back to the front. If it starts in the back, it'll wrap around, but it'll never cross your midline, the center line of your body. At that point, I was 3, maybe 4 days into this, experiencing the blisters, and they had developed into fluid-filled vesicles, little fluid-filled bumps or sacs. And I went from thinking it was a heat rash, because heat rash, the vesicles and the rash looked very similar. Lots of little tiny bumps filled with fluid, except, like I said, the videos of people talking about heat rash, no one really talked about the pain, and I was experiencing pain. Anyway, decided as soon as I suspected it was shingles. I think it was my 4th day. I was on my 4th day of experiencing these symptoms. After work, I went to the ER and told them everything that I have said here, and the doctor agreed it was shingles. He took a look at my rash, and they gave me a medication, an antiviral medication for shingles, and they gave me a cyclovir. Now the shingles virus is actually caused by the same virus that you develop as a child, known as chickenpox. It's the same virus, only it's like a second recurrence of the same virus. So when you contract chickenpox as a child, you get itchy bumps. You basically have a rash, but it's all over your body. What happens is, after you recover from chickenpox, the varicella zoster virus is still in your system. Your body doesn't completely kill it off. The virus will go to sleep, and it will stay dormant. It'll stay asleep in one of your body's the roots of your nerve. So it'll pick a nerve close to the spine, and it'll stay there and go to sleep. It'll lay dormant in that root cluster. And what happens is, decades later, shingles usually affects people who are older, who have a lowered immune system, usually ages 50 and older. I'm 30. I just turned 30 in January of this year. So I was not expecting shingles at all. It literally came out of nowhere. But what happens is, during times of stress or times of illness, really doctors don't know the cause of why the virus wakes up and reactivates, but when it does, it wakes up and it causes shingles, and it develops as usually a pain, some type of pain sensation somewhere on the body, and it will move from the back to the front of the body, and that's what creates the rash that kind of bands around the torso. So usually it'll start in the back somewhere, the pain. The virus will, as it moves forward, the rash will spread in a band around your torso, and you'll develop blisters, you'll develop redness, swelling. But what differentiates it from, say, a heat rash is the pain. And so that's mainly what I wanted to talk about, and to kind of bring some awareness to others out there who might be worrying about whether they have shingles or not, if they're at risk, what the differences are between shingles and a heat rash. So that is what has happened with me over the past week, over the past couple days. It's been very painful. I would say the first 3 to 5 days were very painful. I just got started on medication 2 days ago, but thankfully the acyclovir has been working. I can tell that it's working because the pain when I'm on the medication is about a 2 or a 3. Sometimes it'll peak and I'll get to like a 5, and it's still very uncomfortable. But when before the medication, my pain was like an 8 out of 10, a 10 out of 10 sometimes. My skin was it had a really deep burning sensation on the skin. It felt very hot. It's hard to even wear a t-shirt. Very, very painful. So, especially in sensitive areas like that. So, it's been about 4 days. It's unfortunate. And also, it's COVID season, right? So there's this is happening during this whole pandemic of the other virus, the COVID virus. So that is why I have not been able to make any new videos. I have been wanting to, I have been trying to, and honestly the last couple days, last week, I was honestly going to put a video out, but then this all happened. So thankfully I'm on medication. I caught it not soon. I wish I would have caught it right at the onset of the rash. I was just not as informed, and I was still trying to figure out what it could be. So the sun is just about peeking over our neighborhood now. I appreciate you guys sticking with me through this video, and appreciate all the new subscribers. There was one week where I added about 4 or 5 new subscribers in one single week. So if this development hadn't happened, probably would have stayed on that roll, stayed on that train, and gotten more views, more subscribers, but that's just what happened. So I might cut this video into 2 parts, just because I want to keep smoking and sitting here and just talking. So I'm going to end this video right now for part 1, and we'll make a cut right here, and I will see you in part 2.